Have you ever gone back and rewatched a movie or TV show that you haven't seen since you were a kid? That's what I did this year. Back in the day when I was between the ages of 7 and 12, TV was my main source of media consumption. I'm 23, by the way. From children's shows and movies like SpongeBob, Teen Titans, Code Lyoko, and Star Wars, to movies I really wasn't supposed to be watching, like Lethal Weapon, RoboCop, Taxi Driver, and Panic Room. A very large portion of my childhood life was sitting in front of a screen watching movies and TV. It's still like that as an adult. But there was one piece of media that I consumed mass amounts of as a child: anime. When I look back on it, the one thing I watched more than anything else was anime. From Naruto to Dragon Ball Z to Pokemon, I just sat in front of my TV and watched non-stop anime. And this before I ever knew it was animation from across the world. I just loved watching it and didn't care who or where it came from. But as I dive even farther into my memory banks, I remember that there was one day I couldn't wait for. One day that me and my friends at school would talk about for an entire week. This day I am talking about is Saturday. I am talking about Toonami. I remember the lineup as if it was yesterday. Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Zatch Bell, Byakugan. Week after week, I would turn on my TV at 8 p.m. and be greeted by Steve. Him and his companions would tell me what to expect from each episode. Oh man, those were the good old days. But Toonami was just a warm up. The real anime came on at 11 p.m. I'm talking about Adult Swim. Now, most of you know them for the shows as Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Robot Chicken, and Rick and Morty. But on Saturdays, for the entire night, they showed nothing but anime. I would argue I saw the best anime on Adult Swim instead of Toonami. Bleach, Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, Code Geass, Inuyasha. So many more that I can't even name them all. But there was one show I watched, and I remember, but it didn't leave a huge impact on me at the time. And that was Full Metal Alchemist. Now, before you jump on me, let me explain. I'm 7, 8, 9 years old trying to stay up at 11, 12 o'clock watching stuff I'm probably not supposed to. Of course, my parents would tell me to turn it off and go to bed. It wasn't really until I got older that I learned the secret to staying up late and watching more anime, but at that point, Full Metal Alchemist was off TV. But I bring it all up to bring up the question: have you ever gone back and rewatched something you loved as a child and watched it as an adult? This year I did that. I went back and watched a lot of anime I loved as a kid. Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, Bleach, Inuyasha, Code Geass. Some of the rewatches amplified my love for the series, while some I realized they weren't as great as I remembered, but I understand why I loved them. While some I found a whole new appreciation for. But the one I wasn't expecting to leave an impact on me was Full Metal Alchemist. For those of you who don't know, Full Metal Alchemist is about the Elwood brothers, Ed and Al. After a botched human transmutation trying to resurrect their dead mother, Edward loses his arm and leg, and Al loses his whole body, with his soul attached to a suit of armor. Now the two must travel through the country of Amestris in search of the Philosopher's Stone, a stone that amplifies alchemy so that they may get their original bodies back. What I just gave you was a simplified version of the story. As the series goes on, new characters, villains, and ideas are introduced. Please note, I am talking about the original '03 Full Metal Alchemist, not Brotherhood. The reason for this is because '03 is a series I rewatched recently and the one I have the most memory of as a child. Also, and I know I'll get flack for this, but it's the one I prefer more. I love '03 Full Metal Alchemist and what it does with its characters and its story. I want this video to make people see why '03 is great, and while originally I was going to make a video comparing '03 and Brotherhood and why '03 is better, I'll refrain from comparing them as much as possible, as I believe '03 stands on its own as a great anime. So strap on in and let's get started. The biggest complaint given to '03 is that it stops adapting the manga after a certain point, that point being episode 28. After that, '03 finishes the series with the anime-only story and ending. The reason for this is because the manga was not done at the time when '03 was created. Actually, it wasn't even finished until Brotherhood was in production, almost 5 years later. Another reason is because the Full Metal Alchemist manga creator requested that the series has a different ending, so that the two pieces of media would not be alike. Because of that, the series creators decided to make an anime-only ending, instead of making useless filler. Most people at that point stop watching '03 and go to Brotherhood, as the consensus is that '03 does the manga better in the beginning, but at the divergent point, that is when Brotherhood gets good. I feel this is very wrong. Just because they're not adapting the manga doesn't mean it's useless anime garbage. Far from it. Anything, I feel that '03 really gets into the story. It's not chained by the manga, and the creators can take the story whatever way they want. We as anime fans consider anything that is not the manga useless filler, and a good portion of the time that is true. Just padding out the story until we can get more manga. But that is not the case with Full Metal Alchemist 03. I feel people really need to get over the anime-only ending. Like seriously, you have no idea what you're missing with this story. Most of the media we consume is not always directly adopted from its source material. I didn't hear any complaints about Logan changing his story from Old Man Logan, or Civil War, or Batman Begins, or Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse for that matter. No, they are loose adaptations, but they are still praised for their storytelling. So why can't y'all just get over it with 03? I'm waiting for an answer. I noticed that some people have a problem with how 03 adapts its parts of the manga, such as the Lior incident or the Nina incident. The thing is this, instead of adapting the manga from page to screen like most anime, the creators instead expand on it. That's why most story arcs that are just one episode in Brotherhood is 2 or more in 03. This allows the story to have more depth and explore its themes and flesh out its characters more, as most of them will play a major part in the story later on. It also alters little details from the manga. Like in the manga and in Brotherhood, the suit of armor that is fighting Ed in the prison shows him his face, showing that he is soul bound by armor. In 03, Ed has to deduce it and takes off the mask, confirming his suspicions. Again, little things like this is where adaptation comes in. Either lift directly from the page or you put your own spin on it. You choose the best option. I've also noticed that some are confusing certain episodes of 03 as filler, such as the Attack on the Train episode or the Gold Mine episode. These are not filler episodes. They're actually story from the manga that Brotherhood does not adapt. And in the case of the 2 Elric episodes, that's actually based on light novels of Full Metal Alchemist. But if there is one thing that has always been praised about 03 from either side of the fence, is the soundtrack. This is where adaptation comes in. Instead of making standard anime music, they make melodic and mood-setting score that brings out the emotions of the characters without saying a single word. It's very orchestration and not pop, which sets it out from the rest. No, 03 is not Brotherhood, nor is it really like the manga, but its storytelling is just as great as both those. The 03 version of Full Metal Alchemist is honestly something I want more anime to do. Take the manga as a guide, but put your own artistic mark on it. Add and change as much of the story, characters, and world building as you like. So many more anime would be better for it. As you can tell, I really do love the 03 version of Full Metal Alchemist. Out of all the anime I revisited this year, this was my favorite one. But sadly, most people don't feel the same way as I do. And for that, I actually do have a theory. When the 03 version of Full Metal Alchemist came out, it was a different climate in anime. More story-focused, character-based anime was out, such as Cowboy Bebop, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Ghost in the Shell. Those kind of anime were popular at the time. Yes, you had shonen anime like Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z, but more character-based was out. That is what 03 is, a character piece. Fast forward to 09 when Brotherhood comes out and you have more shonen-like anime, long-form, action-oriented, world-building anime like Naruto, One Piece, and My Hero Academia. No, Brotherhood is not as long as any of those shows, but it follows more of those tropes. And that is what Brotherhood is, an action-adventure story with great character arcs. And I say this with 100% confidence. Had Brotherhood never came out, 03 would be the definitive version of the story with no complaints. So I implore you, go out and watch FMA 03. It's available on Netflix and Hulu. The Blu-ray is out of print, so you'd have to go to eBay and get a copy from there. It seems like they're slowly but surely erasing 03 from media history because I was wrong. The series is not on Hulu, but it's still on Netflix and you can still find a copy on eBay, but they're of a limited quality. So please, I implore you, if you're an anime fan, please go out and check out the series. And if you're not an anime fan, please go out and check out the series because I promise you will love it. If you'd like a more in-depth review of how 03 and Brotherhood are different and the same, check out Lord's channel. And I want to shout out to my boy Dylan Clark right here for, giving me the inspiration to make it, you feel me? And you gonna say something to the people?
Do good, Jordan.
Hey, we gonna do good, okay?
Out here
We're
for the shorties.
Good. Hey, for the shorties.
For the shorties.
We're doing this thing, real talk. I'm so sorry for that hiatus. Just had to get back up that inspiration. But hey, I'm back and I'm better than ever. So stay tuned because I'm gonna have some more reviews out for you. Thank you again and have a great day.